There we go. There's Amy Steinberg.
Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're watching this. I'm Amy Steinberg, and this is Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and I'm so happy to be with you. And Reverend Dr. Keith Cox. Happy Pride. I'm going to start off with a wonderful chant from Alexi Murdoch to remind you. May the grace of God be with you always in your heart. May you know the truth inside you from the start. Find the strength to know you are part of something beautiful. May the grace of God be with you always in your heart. May you know the truth inside you from the start. Find the strength to know you are part of something beautiful. Yeah. May the grace of God be with you always in your heart. May you know the truth inside you from the start. Find the strength to know you are part of something beautiful. And I see a light shining from your eyes. Yes, I see a light shining from your eyes, shining from your eyes. May the grace of God be with you always in your heart. May you know the truth inside you from the start. May you find the strength to know you are part of something beautiful. Yeah. May the grace of God be with you always in your heart. May you know the truth inside you from the start. May you find the strength to know you are part of something beautiful. And I see a light. I see it shine in your eyes. Yes, I see a light shining in your eyes, shining in your eyes. May the grace of God be with you always in your heart. May you know the truth inside you from the start. May you find the strength to know you are part of something beautiful.
How beautiful and sweet and true and real. Good morning, Amy Steinberg.
Good morning, Keith Cox.
And happy Pride to you. And
Big happy Pride to you, too.
Yes, it's a very vibrant environment you have going on there.
Thank you. It's my studio.
I see that you're in a different location. It's fantastic. So it's just screaming and throbbing with your creativity. Pulsating, I believe it.
Yes.
That's so fabulous. Well, I'm so happy to have you join us today at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles as we come together on this day, June 4th in the year 2023, as we come together to remember who we are as divine beings. So I very much look forward to sharing this service and this time together with you.
Me too.
So we'll see you in a bit. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. We are a community that comes together to honor your uniqueness, your stamp of individuality that Spirit has placed upon itself and called it you. To honor you just where you are on the physical journey of your life, of where you're at in the mental journey of your life, and where you're at in the emotional journey of your life, all on the journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. We come together in this very sacred space of technology and community to celebrate the individual, to honor the one power of the divine, to learn that we have the capacity and the power and the opportunity and the possibility in life to reframe the way that we believe ourselves to be, to know who we are as divine beings, and then to use our ability to choose, our ability to think, our ability to believe, our ability to act in ways to fine-tune our consciousness, our belief system, the totality of our mentality, if you will, and that's not men as in gender, it's mentality as in the mind, in a way that helps us all tune in to our divine nature and experience and express more of that. And in so doing, not only make a difference in our own lives, but make a difference in life itself. So I welcome you into our space today and affirm for each and every one of us that exactly what you're seeking exists within you already waiting to reveal itself to you through you. For the truth is, it already is you. The light, the life, the love, the peace, the power, the beauty, the joy, the wisdom of the thing itself, that which we call God. So I invite us all to take a deep breath in and exhale, clearing our space around us and anchoring ourselves into a space of receptivity. Once again, of taking a deep breath in, placing our hands in prayer position, leaning forward and exhaling, and saying namaste as an act of greeting, as an act of honoring, as an act of acknowledging, as an act of bowing to each other. Namaste is a Sanskrit word, and its meaning is I bow to you. We do that not in an act of supplication, but through an act of honoring the power that exists within each and every one of us. And so we come together as a community where we practice primarily the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind. In its purest form, the science of mind is a compilation of all of the great philosophies and teachings, spiritual teachings of the world that were brought together by the Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes in the late 1800s as a result of the philosophy called New Thought that was taking place across the United States of America, of North America really, as well as Europe. These myriads of different types of new ways of looking at spirituality, about the power of the divine, all brought it down to the philosophy, faith, and way of life that there's only one thing happening. It's a mental activity, and it's the activity of the divine. That it's not dual in its nature, it's not opposing in its nature, it's just one thing, and it's impersonal by its nature. It expresses itself by means of you and by means of me. And that we both experience and express it through our thinking, believing, acting, reacting, and interacting with the very thing itself. And as a result of that, we get to experience our development, if you will, our revelation of how we know ourselves to be, because we live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law. Much like the physical law of gravity works, the universal law of reciprocity exists, of cause and effect, meaning that the totality of our being is manifested in form in our life. And so in a very simple way, if we don't like what's going on in our life, we get to change our thinking and change our life. It's not always that simple, but it's a mental approach that we all can relate to and understand. And so today we come together to welcome you just as you are and honor that aspect of you that is the one expressing itself. As a community, we welcome all races, all religions, all countries of origins, all sexual orientations, all genders, all abilities here to let you know that you're safe here, that just as you are, we honor you. And so I'd like to invite us all to affirm that together by using the affirmation of we welcome one and we welcome all. Let's say that together. We welcome one and we welcome all. And it's through this welcoming, it's an acknowledgement of our ability to engage in our vision statement, which is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. Today, I invite each of us to open to a greater sense of empowerment as a result of awakening to a greater acceptance of our spiritual nature. And so we do that by engaging in a ritual. The ritual is called Calling in the Light. And I'm going to begin some music. As we kind of move inward in this moment, I'd like to have us all hear these words as if it's the first time, and for some of us it may be the first time if you're joining us for the first time. The ritual is called Calling in the Light. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering this morning a conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. Today we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. As Amy stated, and I did too, it's Pride Month. Right now, but I live right in the heart of West Hollywood. Pride is happening here. It's been thump, thump, thump of the music and people expressing their uniqueness and individuality. There's a parade that's about to happen at noon, and there's been helicopters flying overhead for the last 2 days, news helicopters. It's a great way to celebrate the uniqueness of spirit. It's also been a long battle to get to this place. I've been thinking over the last couple of days of Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, those who were instrumental in what we believe to have thrown the first bricks at Stonewall. In essence, what these individuals doing were drawing a line in the stand of values and standards, saying no longer will we allow ourselves to be treated in this way. As we open ourselves up to these values today of honoring love is love is love, and the uniqueness of the LGBTQ community, of which I'm a part of, ask us to open our mind to see how we can be a bit more compassionate. I'd like to read to us a post that a buddy of mine put on Facebook this morning, a former priest, out and proud gay man. And I'd like first of all to hear these words and see if we may tune into them, to use them in a way to be our own little Marsha P. Johnson or Sylvia Rivera. He says, "Happy Pride in LA. Asked why we celebrate Pride in March, I say because I remember a time when we were scorned and laughed at. We were literally illegal. We're fighting for basic rights and then fighting for our lives. May we never let up and never step back as they burn our books, make our lifestyle illegal, and roll back our basic rights. Being the scapegoat is no fun. Watching friends and loved ones vote against your basic rights guts you. And what's worst, as a past religious leader, it's those who espouse love and forgiveness that seem to sit in the seats of judgment and hatred." He states, "Please God," as a Christian it's a supplication, we look at it as an affirmation, "may the next generation of LGBTQ people not have to feel the pain and hostility." He goes on to write, imprinted on the Pride Proud flag that includes the rainbow colors and all the colors of the trans pride flag, the trans flag. In an affirmation, may we never know the fear of having our human rights challenged every time there's an election again. May we never know the pain of watching loved ones vote against our right to exist fully, equally, and authentically. I'd like to light a candle. I like this candle, representing all whose lives have been lost, all that have fought this fight, and all that Father Bill is affirming will never have to feel that pain. It's the flame representing the one light that exists within each of us. Let's all affirm together there is one flame that burns in our hearts. There's one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith, and we find this light within our soul, for there is one flame, one light within. There's been a gift that's been brought to us in life. It's a song, it's a chant, it's a meditative song called Holy Light by Amy Steinberg. She's going to sing it, and I invite us all to go on the journey with her. Amy?
I am holy light. I am holy light. I am holy light. I am one with God. Join me singing, I am holy light. I am holy light. I am holy light. I am holy light. I am one with God. I am one with God. Let's do it once more. I am holy light. I am holy light. I am holy light. I am one with God. 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 I am one with God.
And so it is. Thank you. So the next song that you have for us, Amy, you can stay with your camera on.
Okay, great.
Is it titled Grow On?
Yes, and it's a song that I wrote with Jana Stanfield. Do you know Jana?
I don't.
She's a wonderful songwriter. You do know her because you know the song "Amazing,
I know her.
Amazing." She co-wrote that song, so
I know her name. I just don't believe I know her. So,
yeah,
yes.
you'd love her.
Fabulous. Thank you. Well, take it away.
Okay, so this is a song of mine that is just all about the growth process. And Reverend Keith told me that he was going to be talking about growth this month, so I think it's a perfect match. Every entanglement and every knot, every twist and turn and every painful thought, the roots reach deep, wrapped up in history, and the truth we seek is a mystery. No need to hide or deny our scars. It takes what it takes to make us who we are. Grow on, grow deep like a seed unleashed. Grow strong, grow on, grow up like a tree set free into the sun. Grow on, 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 grow on. Look at the obstacles that we've overcome. Keep your heart steady like the beat of the drum, the courage inside you will show you the way out of the darkness into the day. And now that you know what's true for you, there is only one thing for you to do. Come on, grow on, grow deep like a seed unleashed, grow strong, grow on, grow up like a tree set free into the sun. Grow on, 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 grow on. Let's do that chorus one more time. Grow on, grow on, grow deep like a seed unleashed, grow strong, grow on, grow up like a tree set free into the sun. Grow on, grow on, grow on.
Very powerful song.
Thank you.
And it is also very practical in its approach, right? To grow. What is the lyric again about courage?
The courage inside you has shown you the way out of the darkness into the day.
How fabulous. The courage inside us has shown us the way out of the darkness into the day.
And I was thinking about all the people that you listed, Marsha P. Johnson, and the courage that it took, it kind of brought me to tears as I was singing the song, just thinking about all those
Yeah, I
pioneers.
think that's one of the things, that's what I want to talk about today is the courage that it takes to show up today and to toe the line of the fight that we have, the battle, if you will. And I don't like putting it in that framework, and yet it is what it is in so many ways, at least politically and human rights and social justice ways. While at the same time, can we live from a place of courage? With courage being the root word of meaning, it's from the word courage, and the word courage is a Latin word which means from the heart. So can we go
Isn't that
from?
beautiful? And you think about the lion, right? In The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Wasn't he missing his heart, the courage
Uh-huh.
and the courage? It's so
Right.
perfect. That's perfect. Well, I look forward to hearing you.
Thank you. It's so funny when you say the lion. There's on social media. There are all of these. There's a myriad of different ways of celebrating pride, right? And there's one. I'm just on each day. I'm going to post a different one I found. But one that's coming up is the faces of the different faces of lions, right? That are each colored from the rainbow in different ways, and it's just the lions in those colors, which means pride, right? A pride of lions. So
Right. Oh,
pride.
that's perfect too.
So cute. It's so cute. So cute. All right, my dear. See you in a bit.
Okay.
So, as Amy said, we are going to be talking today about growth, and we are moving out of our theme from the month of May, which is today is the day, into a new theme. And it's important to remember that all we need is to live with courage and with love. Our theme for June, as we kick off this month, is time to grow, glow, and know. And I think that all three of those components are important for us on the journey of finding our personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, of the journey that we have before us when we live in this climate that seems to be very oppressive and unkind to people that they believe are different than them. I'd like to start with the lyrics from a song that some of you may know, and let it be the guide for us in this week ahead, in this day ahead, as we're kicking off the conscious intention to grow, to glow, and to know as spirit, the one thing itself. Take medicine, take tonic, take pills, but none of them will cure an old grouch of his ills. If you've got to take something, take a prescription that's as old as the hills. Take love and kindness. Love and kindness from the nurse, the good-looking nurse. Take love and kindness. Love and kindness, and you will never, ever take a turn for the worse. She's good for what ails you when you feel ready to holler and curse. Take love and kindness, and you will never, ever take a turn for the worse. She's good for what ails you when you feel ready to holler and curse. Take love and kindness, and you'll never, ever take a turn from the worse. These lyrics are from a play called The Most Happy Fella, a 1956 musical. And the story is about a romance between an older man and a younger woman that's based on the play They Knew What They Wanted. Love and kindness. It seems today there's a lack of kindness and civility present around us. I was having this conversation Friday night at a dinner with some loved ones, and I'd run into this friend earlier in the day, and we were talking about in the last few years in the everyday interaction in our world, it feels as if kindness and civility is disappearing. We see it in the news. We know it's in our politics. We hear it being talked about of anti-LGBTQ, the rights of women being taken away, of oppressiveness to minorities. We feel it in the traffic when we move around the city. We see it in the grocery stores and elevators when we get in buildings. It just seems to be this force field of energy that is existing today that is not steeped in love and kindness. But love and kindness matters. Have you ever wondered why kindness is so important? In an article titled Why Kindness Matters, it says, has there ever been a time where you thought, why does it matter that I be kind to someone else? In a time where positivity often takes a backseat to the negativity we hear and are presented with on a daily basis, we all tend to ask ourselves, well, at this point, why should I be kind? Why does kindness truly matter? Well, let's look at some simple yet profound reasons why kindness is as important as it is, and may this empower and inspire each one of us and all of our friends and family and loved ones, if we can, to be more loving and more kind today. It goes on to say here that kindness matters because we are one. We're all on this journey together. This thing we know to be referred to as life. We're interwoven, we're interrelated. And for each and every one of us, for each and every single one of us, sometimes it can be difficult to be kind. And it's important for us to remember that our journeys, albeit interwoven, are not the same. In fact, they're all different, sometimes quite different in their approach, in their experience, in their state of mind. But one of the things that makes us all the same is that we are all on the journey, and we almost all are facing hardships in our own way. We endure challenges and obstacles and difficulties in life. Therefore, it's important that we share in this common bond, and we share in the opportunity, the possibility for triumphing through the pains and the challenges of life. Life itself can be hard enough as it is, so we should choose to make it easier on one another by being kind. It's just the right thing to do. And in our kindness, we can inspire and be an example of kindness for others, making life just a little better, one smile and one hug at a time. You know, we never know what's going on in people's lives. One of my great teachers, and for many of you, your teacher as well, Dr. David Walker, used to say this, and it comes up within me a lot, and I hear him saying it. All God's children got stuff, meaning that everybody's got something they're dealing with in life. But we can honor the love and the kindness and the capacity and the for compassion with others. I was at a gathering recently, and there was a conversation that was being had as a group of elders that were there, who've been around the block for a long time, and all really highly successful people in their chosen careers. And many of them are at a stage in their life where they're looking back on their life and not as invested as many of us are or were in regards to the political scape and or feeling the need to get out and march, right? They've done that. And this one gentleman in particular said that it's such the time that we are able to have honest and respectable discourse with those that we disagree with. And I took exception to that a little bit. And through our conversation, I realized exactly what he was saying and his intention and the purpose behind that. And I even shared with him, I'm a minister who teaches this stuff. And I realized that what often has presented or prevented me from being open to that type of discourse is my own personal pain and fear. And so I think we can both have that pain, have that fear, stand up for ourselves, and at the same time be open to kindful, respectful conversations of discourse to try to move everything forward. This article goes on to tell us that kindness matters because it's hopeful. Kindness is filled with hope. That's exactly what kindness is. Hope in the metaphysical terms is not something we aspire for, but it's revealing the Christ within, the ability to turn the other cheek, the ability to see things anew. Kindness is the light that keeps our inner fires burning. Kindness is that spirit and that faith that tell us to keep holding on and to continue enduring and living our life through every present life situation. It's to instill the same hope in others by being kind. And even if you don't know it, at the same time, you will be instilling this hope within yourself too. Kindness does that in a beautiful way. Kindness matters because kindness is love, and love is all you need. During this month of June, we stand up, fist in the air, chanting, love is love is love is love is love. And that is indeed true. But it's also important to remember that we're here to be kind. I think back on the Marsha P. Johnsons and the Sylvia Rivera and those that threw the bricks and fought, and those individuals of ACT UP, and all of us who did what we needed to do to garner where we're at in the evolution of the LGBTQ movement today. And once again, I don't want anyone to think that I'm not saying that we should stand up for our rights. But if we can do that and hold a place in our heart for kindness and love, the better it is for all of us. It says here to share and spread your kindness today in any way you can. You can buy a stranger a cup of coffee or send a special heartwarming text message to a long-lost friend. Allow kindness to take over your moment, your day, your week, your month, your year, and your life. Join us today in empowering kindness through tangible acts all throughout the world. This week I received a text from someone I haven't been in contact with in years, and it was filled with kindness, thanking me for how I had taken care of her and supported her in her life as a teenager. She's now a young adult and a mother with children. And it touched my heart, and I realized that that is one of those things that we can all stay in the flow of that which we give, so shall we receive, so that we shall give again. I'd like to share a story with you of a homeless man. He was approached by a young man who engaged him in conversation. He then offered him a $100 bill. The homeless man refused the money, but eventually he accepted it. Unbeknownst to the homeless man, he didn't know he was part of an experiment. He was being followed by the man who gave him the money. He was following him in a camper. And As they followed him, they watched this homeless man enter the liquor store. A few minutes later, he left the store, and they could tell his bag was heavier than before. There was a grumbling from the cameraman and the dude who gave him the money. Of course, he went to the liquor store. You could tell from their tone of their voice. They felt he'd lived up to their expectation, to buy more booze. So they continued to follow up, and they saw this man heading to the local park. Of course, they thought he was headed there to get drunk and party. But to their surprise, he began handing out food to the various table of other people, unhoused people in the park. And you could see as he did this through their experiment and watching and observing him that it brought him great joy to do this. As he finished, the man who gave him the money then approached him. And he said, "I need to apologize to you, and not just for filming you and following you without your permission, but mostly for what my personal expectations were of what you had now done with the money. It's not what I thought you would do," the man said. He went on to confess that he was hanging on to an old idea, an old perception, an old vision, an expectation. And he then offered the man that he had given the money to for his forgiveness. And he asked the man, as the man said, "Yes, I forgive you," why he took the money and bought food for these people as opposed to what he thought he was going to go do. And his answer was this: "It brings me joy in giving. The people here are in need, and you provided to me an opportunity to do things to make their lives better." He said, "You never know the circumstances that caused any of these individuals to be here." The giver then asked, if you'll excuse me and pardon me for asking, "Why are you homeless and unhoused?" He replied, "I quit my job to move to a new state to take care of my parents who were ill. Unexpectedly, my father passed quicker than expected. I took part of my savings and paid for his funeral. 2 weeks later, my mother passed away, and the rest of my money went to pay for her funeral. Their landlord sold the building, which was being converted to condos, and I was kicked out on the street. I had no money, nowhere to live, was in a new town, and grieving the loss of my parents." It just goes to show you, you never know what's going on with people. You never know. You never know. Today we have before us the opportunity to open our eyes, to be willing to see with kindness and love, to be willing to give in ways that may even stretch our comfort level. Not through an experiment in the traditional sense, but it can indeed be through a spiritual, soulful experiment to see if we can open ourselves up to move into a different dimension or facet of the way life is and expresses itself. In essence, the opportunity to grow, to glow, to flow, and to know as spirit. To open up to the opportunity to experience the oneness of life in a new way. To be open to engaging in people on the journey of life with simply an open mind. Of being able to see the light within. Today, I invite us all on this day, June 4th in the year 2023, to choose to not only be more kind, but to engage in kindness. To remember that these acts are a reflection of a state of mind, and our state of mind is simply energy, and energy begets energy. I love this little writing by Tootie Rose, and we can all relate to it in some way, whether or not we're married. But she says, "Sometimes in my own marriage, I've been frustrated by my husband's supposed selfishness, only to realize that it's me who needs the attitude adjustment. Once I began to look inside myself at what is really going on, I can then choose to get back on the road to becoming the selfless person my partner deserves." Where in our lives, each one of our lives, can we have this attitude adjustment so that we may look at any place where we may have been less than kind or loving and realize that it's not about what's going on out there. It's about what's going on in here. It's about what's going on in here. Obviously, I touch my chest, referencing the heart, and I touch my graying hair to reference the mind. But we do get to ask ourselves what's going on in our mind and our heart, and how are we choosing to show up in life? The mind, gray temple, when properly developed, is a very, very powerful instrument. The truth is, when not properly developed, it's also a powerful instrument. But it goes on to say here from the Buddhist Association, if we can learn to focus our mental energy and project it towards others, it can have an effect upon them and yourself. This projection that it speaks of is inviting us to magnify the light that is within us, to magnify and radiate and emanate the love that is within us. Yes, in that human form through compassion, but also in that agape love of the self-givingness of spirit whose desire is to create more of itself out of itself. And it does that through you and through me when we are but willing to live with a new perspective, and we're but willing to love others, we're but willing to slow down and open our mind and open our heart and listen, to trust spirit to guide us, to protect us, to serve us, and most importantly, give us an opportunity to find empowerment. A thought for the day from the very best quote says this: an ordinary favor we do for someone or any compassionate reaching out may seem to be going nowhere at first, but it may be planting a seed we can't see right now. Sometimes we need to just do the best we can and then trust in an unfolding we can't design or ordain. Deepak Chopra tells us that inherent within the seed of intention is the fulfillment of its desire. Today, I affirm for each one of us that we remember that the law of life responds to us by corresponding. Therefore, we each set the intention to live a life that is more fueled by kindness, that is more present in love. Imagine all of us living in a kindness bubble. That can only happen if we begin with the self. Imagine that everywhere we go in life, there's this bubble that's surrounding us, and it's radiating all of the colors, like in Amy's studio. All those colors that we get to see are a reflection of the love that is Amy Steinberg, of the kindness that we have as we give ourselves. Imagine walking through life with that bubble just pulsating and ruminating and emanating itself and moving through life and then coming back to us. We used to laugh when I would run those spiritual teen camps, and Amy has been there, that was a love bubble. We called it a love bubble because we were up on the mountaintop, separated from the rest of the world, and continually built upon ourselves more love and kindness and compassion, and love and kindness and compassion and understanding, and love and kindness and compassion and understanding. And it just built upon itself, and you could feel the bubble grow as the days unfolded. And we used to talk about how we would send it off the mountaintop, and then when we would leave the mountaintop, we would take it with us. And of course, no one ever wanted those days to end, because there was great fear that when we returned to the normal world, life would be different. And oftentimes it eventually was. But it's important to remember that when we leave the experience of the love bubble, we don't leave it on the mountain, metaphorically. We take it with us. But because energy begets energy, it's up to us to remember to share it, to give it, to let it out, to play. That's the way to do it. So Travis is saying he's lost my audio. Do you guys still can you still hear me? So please type in the Robert, if you're going to let us know if you guys can still hear me, because my mic is still on, and so they say they can hear me. And so being kind, why does it matter? Well, it matters primarily because of the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This well-known verse presents what's been come to known as the golden rule. In the King James Version of the Bible, the text reads, "Therefore all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets." Well, that is a mouthful. I like the condensed version better. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But let's take it a little different and a little deeper. Do unto yourself as you would desire others to do to you. Why is that important? It's because we live in a universe governed by spiritual law, the law of reciprocity. The law of reciprocity, also known as the law of sowing and reaping, allows us to receive what others do to us, what we give or do. Scripture, as we just heard, makes it clear we might receive the same thing we give, such as mercy, or we might not receive in kind, such as receiving what we need from the divine or exchange for making that power being present within us. But it's important to remember that as we stay in the flow, the law of reciprocity is in play. We know that it's through the intention of life that it comes back to us. We can also think of the law of correspondence, which is that the universal law states that principles or laws of physics that explain the physical world energy. Light, vibration, and motion have their corresponding principles. In other words, that which we emanate returns to us. And the one that we're being called to tap into more so than ever in our alignment and our agreement and saying yes to engaging in more love and kindness no matter what's going on in our life is the law of divine oneness. That everything is connected to everything else. And what we think, say, do, and believe will have a corresponding effect on others and the universe around us because we're interconnected. Today is the day to step into more love and more kindness. Dr. David Hawkins, who I reference often, who is an internationally renowned psychiatrist, physician, researcher, and pioneer in the field of consciousness research and spirituality, writes this, and may he celebrate wherever he is what was his earthly birthday yesterday. He talks about love in this way. He says, love is misunderstood to be an emotion. Actually, it's a state of awareness, a way of being in the world, a way of seeing oneself and others. He goes on to write, simple kindness to oneself and all that lives is the most powerful transformational force of all. Simple kindness to oneself and all that lives is the most powerful transformational force of all. The simple decision to be kind, forgiving, and compassionate to all life in all of its expressions, including one's own self, is a scalpel that is capable of removing the major impediments to spiritual progress. We hear about love and kindness through all of the great philosophies, the spiritual teachings. The Buddha addresses it this way from the Amaradvate Sangha. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety, may all beings be at ease. Today, you and I choose to let our kindness radiate the energy that allows others to be at ease. Let's remember that on each and every step of our journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening is filled with opportunity. The opportunity for us to make a choice, the opportunity for us to live anew, the opportunity for us to rise up and let our light shine. Today's the day that we get to grow. Should we say yes? To glow, should we say yes? And to flow and know as spirit itself, should we say yes? It's important to remember that no matter what we say, it says yes back because it responds to us by corresponding to our being. Let's remember to be love and be kindness. Thank you. Amy's going to come back and sing us another song.
What an awesome talk. And of course, I was jotting down ideas as you were talking, so I wrote you a little song. We'll see how it comes out. I'm making this up right now. Give kindness in a world that seems shattered. Give kindness because your kindness matters. Give kindness. Oh yes, this world can seem shattered, but it's your kindness, it matters. We are all the same on the journey facing life, and sometimes it can be hard, so let's make it easier, right? Yeah, one smile, one hug at a time. All God's children got stuff. When we look back, we might ask, did we give enough? Give kindness in a world that seems shattered. Give kindness, put it back together, 'cause our kindness matters. We are one thing, and the kindness we give matters. So give kindness. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can we stand up for what we believe and at the same time be kind? Can we hold on to the hope? Looking for the love is what we'll find. Give kindness, yeah, in a world that seems shattered. 'Cause giving kindness, yeah, what matters, you matter, we matter, it matters. So give kindness. Oh yes, this world can seem shattered, but let me tell you, kindness, you bring it back together, and the kindness we give and we show, it matters. So grow, glow, flow, and know as spirit. Can you hear it? Oh, grow, glow, flow, and know the spirit. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? I tell you, give kindness. Sometimes this world can seem shattered. Bring it back together, 'cause see, baby, your kindness, it matters. Give kindness.
Oh, yeah. I love how you do that.
It's so much fun to be able to listen to what you're saying and try to get the essence in song.
And then to trust the spontaneity. The part that I think is so cool is trusting spontaneity. That really is what living from a place of kindness is also about. It's about trusting that when you are kind and giving, it returns in like, right? So
Absolutely.
yesterday I was walking down the. I shared with you earlier today. I took Sweeney for a walk in the opposite direction from Pride, and just had a great afternoon. With her and in Beverly Hills, and we did some shopping, and had hung out and had beer and some calamari. It was just a great afternoon. It was beautiful out, and we're walking back, and I see this young kid, really a kid. It reminded me of a kid from Teen Cat, right? Really, sitting on the bench, and I could just tell he was not in a good place. And I stopped to talk to him, and he was shy, didn't know how to open up, and I was finally was like, what are you doing here? Like, are you okay? And just trusting the universe, and he was not okay. He. I don't know that he was in trouble, but he was certainly in trouble mentally. Not mentally ill, but just he was a kid. He was lost, and I could tell he's probably right on the edge of where if he had a home, and he's like, I just need a job. I just need to work. I just need a job. I need to work. And I was like, wow, there was such a space of desperation for him. And I offered him money, and he wouldn't take it. I'm like, take it. Like, you just need to have some money on you, right? So finally I said to him, is there anything else I can do for you? And he goes, yeah, will you walk with me? And I said, sure, I'll walk with you. And we just walk. He goes, we'll walk till you need to turn to go where you need to turn, and maybe something inside you will tell me where to go get a job. I said, okay. So we did. We walked and talked. And then I said to him, I think you should go to Petco and see if you can get a job. And I'm going to go that way. And we did. But what it's an example of for all of us is to just trust spirit, right? Just trust spirit. Just trust spirit.
I love that story so much. And do you go to that Petco to get Sweetie
Yeah, of
food?
course.
So maybe, who knows, maybe you'll see him,
Yeah,
Oh, that
hoping
just brings tears to my eyes.
yeah. But what's the most important thing is I trusted spirit and was able to touch something inside of him that helped. I could tell that it was so interesting how he was like with the money. It's like he's like kind of like, what do you want? If you're giving me money, what do you want?
Right,
I don't want
right.
anything. So, I
But it
love
sounds like you
that.
gave him
I,
hope, which is what you were talking about.
yeah, but I like it when I said, what else can I give you? And he said, will you walk with me?
That's powerful. That's very spiritual. It's
Right.
like
So
walking with spirit.
yeah. So anyway, I share that so that we will all remember to be kind and to share ourselves and to not look at it through the lens of what we can get, but what can we give here and not be attached to how that unfolds, right? Just trust it one step of the way. So, Amy, it's always so fabulous to have you here with us. Thank you for being here.
I love you.
I know I love you too, and I know that you're in the process. If it hasn't already happened, she was so excited when she came in before we started that the painting of your left shoulder sold.
Yes, it's so exciting. And that's along the same lines of what we were talking about before, where it was like, I paint not knowing
Right.
if a painting is going to sell. You just do it because it feels like, honestly, it's self kindness,
Yeah.
like to create and be creative. If you're an artist out there listening and just do it for that. It's like, I really appreciated what you said about, um, you know, give being kind to others you receive, and also being good to yourself, because that's what you're going to receive too. That was powerful. That was big, Keith.
David
And I
Hawkins
think
says
that,
it best, when he says,
yeah,
simple kindness to oneself.
right. I was kind
Oneself.
of bumbling over that, trying to figure out how to say
Simple
it.
kindness to oneself is the most powerful transformational force of all.
So
I got a
good.
tick on my throat. I'm putting a lozenge in. Simple kindness to oneself and all that lives is the most powerful transformational force of all. And when, that has great gravitas, obviously, as a statement, but it's important to look at it through the lens of the work that David Hawkins did. He created a methodology of measuring consciousness. So when he's saying it's the most powerful transformational force of all, it's not theory. It's a result of how he studied thousands of individuals
Wow.
and created the map of consciousness. So he's saying It's one of the most powerful transformational forces of all, and it moves us
Like
into
actually.
and it moves us into an elevated field of consciousness. And as we move into that elevated field of consciousness, because we live in a universe of all these laws, the law of reciprocity, the law of, cause and effect, that which we then are comes back to us.
So awesome. Just such awesome teachings. And I as you were talking to, I couldn't help but Google David Hawkins. I want to learn more about his studies and
Gift to
stuff. It's
the universe.
fascinating to me.
He was a gift. He is a gift to the universe. You can still find it on YouTube. So, or you can buy his books, Veritas Publishing. Anyway, thank you for being here. We got one more song later, but I just want to say thank you
My
for being here.
pleasure.
And may the rest of your day and month be filled with pride. A big thank you to Travis Smith, our audio technician, as you know, is fully engaged because he at one point couldn't hear me and sent us a message and sent me a message. So Travis is fully engaged. Thank you so very much, Travis, for all you do for us. A big thank you to Robert Hensley, who also takes care of us through our technology and through our social media sites and our administrative assistants. A big thank you to each and every one of you. Wanted to let you know that next Sunday we'll be back in person at the center at 1200 North La Brea, West Hollywood, California. Our musicians for the day are Melissa Lewis and Andy Belling. Very excited to share that time and space with them at 10:30 next Sunday morning. Yes, it's LA Pride next weekend, so if you're coming through Hollywood to come visit us and be a part of our service, just pay attention to some road closures that will take place there. We will be complete before that starts, and it's not going to impact us at all as far as the parade and the event and all of that. But would love to have you all join us, as well as we'll also still be online next Sunday. Speaking of online, we're online every Wednesday morning at 8:30 for an online guided meditation. It's a great way to remember who you are and how to be kinder to yourself. Meditation is a great act of kindness to the self. A reminder that each morning at 7:30 we have a new thought text for the day that goes out, and then that's also all published on all of our social media sites, and so I invite you to avail yourself of that. Our weekly e-newsletter goes out the first part of the week, so watch for that as well. Our app, there was some challenges with the platform that was doing our app, or that was hosting our app, and it can no longer host our app, which provided us with a great opportunity to completely redesign our app, which we have done. And it is very simple and very straightforward and very, very, very user friendly. I share that with you because if you're a user of the app, Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, you'll know that it's gone dark right now. Probably will be dark for potentially up to another week. But then you're going to have the opportunity to reinstall it and begin using this very user-friendly app again. So just be patient for that and know that it's on its way. So that's what we have for now. I want to put on the screen right now the method and the opportunity to support us financially. Know that all of your support is greatly appreciated and is a great example for each and every one of us that we may give so that we stay in the flow of good and understanding that the law of life responds to us by corresponding. The ways to do that is you can go to our website, csl-la.org, and click on donate, and that will take you place. You cannot go to the app right now and do that, but that will be back. You can mail in a check. Our address is 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, California, 90038. Or you can call me. My number's on the screen, and I can handle it for you privately. While we all take a moment to do that, Amy's going to come back on the screen and take us through our conscious giving song called Love is My Decision. Please feel free to listen and sing along.
Oh. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision, and no one else can tell me to start. Once I decide right decision right here and now.
And so I affirm for each and every one of us, not only is love our decision, but it is the self-givingness of spirit whose desire is to create more of itself out of itself. And the only way it can do that is through you and through me. We say yes today to being the avenue by which that happens in a more magnificent way than ever before. We choose to move forward on the journey of our life from this moment forward, being more kind, being more compassionate, being more loving. And with great excitement and anticipation, we await what the law of life brings back to us, knowing it's a reflection of this awakened consciousness that we've tuned into being. We take care of ourselves and emanate the energy that's an example for others to do the same. Today is the day that we choose to give, to grow, to glow, to flow, and to know as spirit. One step, one thought, one belief, one action, one reaction, and one introduction at a time. Know that you are the blessing in life. Thank you, and so it is. We're going to say goodbye to those of you on YouTube right now, and then in just a second, if you're on Zoom, you can stay on and turn your cameras on and say hello. Have a great Sunday, and happy